The Navy All-American Bowl kicks off in San Antonio on Saturday, but we've got, of course, plenty of festivities throughout the week with practices. And so this is a hub for coaches and scouts and also recruiting directors, of course. We got Leanne Herring here. Of course, Leanne Herring joining us here at the Voice of College Football and making the show go that we bring you each and most of the time, every day throughout the week. It's On the Move, our recruiting and transfer portal update show. But Leanne's there at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, and it's a good-looking shot there. You're high above the field in a place that we've seen many times. Colorado and BYU playing in the Alamo Bowl this year, but you've made this trip a zillion times.
The Alamo Dome is one of my home away from home. You know, when you frequent a venue with the security and whatnot, you feel a familiar face. It's always good to be in San Antonio. This is one of my favorite events, Mark, to cover every season. You know, like I said, what I really love about this year that not just the Navy All-American Bowl has done, but also the Under Armour All-American Bowl, which was last week headlining. You know, as they added the addition of the 2026 recruits. You know, the not only before, like we said, it was just the outgoing seniors, but now we've got to see a lot of talent this morning here from the Alamo Dome for the 2026 class. It looks just really promising. Like I said, a lot of QBs. We broke down some of the offensive linemen and defensive linemen on yesterday's show that we're excited to look about. The practices are actually split today. The gentleman arrived yesterday, and we still have some guys signing in, some of the big 5 stars signing in. You know, with the weather and travel conditions, haven't arrived yet, but this practice this week will be split obviously between the East and the West team, and between Trinity and the Alamo Dome. And today we're here at the Alamo Dome taking in the East practice.
Before we get to our transfer portal update, Leanne, you have posted a ton of videos just here in the last couple of hours. So again, track Leanne's work on Twitter as she has run down so many different prospects. Anybody in particular stand out to you already?
Well, I haven't had a chance to look at the linemen, of course. Obviously here covering the Ole Miss signees. Winnie Watkins, wide receiver out of Venice, Florida, and then 4-star Shakai Mills-Knight out of the Baylor School, getting in some reps there. Two of the guys that you heard me mention yesterday, obviously, 26 blue chip receiver and already Texas commit Aaron Gregory out of Douglasville, Georgia. Like I said, he's just got an arm, and he's just one that I've watched. We've definitely tried to get him over to Oxford, and he's been a couple times, but right now he's definitely committed to College Station, but definitely a promising prospect. When and he doesn't have the typical wide receiver frame, but he's been in the mix a lot today and has been really impressive. Rebels, you definitely should get excited for his debut in the not so distant future over in Oxford. He's very speedy. He's got solid hands. Again, doesn't have your prototypical wide receiver frame, but again, he's played numerous roles. You know, both sides of the ball while he's been at Venice. And he was formerly at IMG Academy. So he's definitely one that the Ole Miss Rebels, you know, newest signee are definitely. And of course, there we have the top highest graded running back that's on the roster here at the Navy All-American Bowl representing the East team, Shakai Mills-Knight out of the Baylor School in Tennessee. He's been definitely getting some reps in here. Of course, we see him throwing up that land shark. He's really been moving and grooving today. A really big body, physical guy. He's going to be I think he's going to be a really instant impact for the Rebels going ahead. And like I said, you can join us over at Rebel Walk for all the Ole Miss fans, and we'll talk more about him on our Ole Miss Live show tomorrow. Winnie Watkins and Shakai Mills-Knight making their mark and looking to close out their successful high school careers, both state champions, before they head down to Oxford and help bolster that video game type Lane Kiffin, Charlie Weiss offense.
All right. We will be looking forward to all sorts of updates throughout the week. Leanne, again, in San Antonio for the Navy All-American Bowl there at the Alamo Dome. Now, turning our attention, of course, to Leanne provides me the update list each and every day. So I am catching up with the rest of you here Amari Jefferson staying in the SEC. Of course, the Alabama-Tennessee rivalry is fierce, playing in the second week of October every year. And looks like Amari Jefferson is going to see both sides of it, Leanne.
He is. He's like we said, he's not too moving too far from Tuscaloosa down to Knoxville to join, you know, the Vols, and he's definitely going to be an asset. We of course, Mark, have talked about the need for the wide receiving a core down in Rocky Top is definitely taking a hit. So the addition of Mari Jefferson will definitely be welcome for the Vols, looking to up their depth. Of course, they were able to retain one of their top wide receivers in Matthews, but again, still looking to build that depth and seeing some of the exit. Obviously, we saw one of their top wide receivers in Squirrel White, who's been pretty productive and a staple, transfer to and make his commitment elsewhere. So again, Amari Jefferson is staying in the SEC, heading to Rocky Top, looking to bolster that wide receiver depth room down in Knoxville.
We've got Lord Seymour, Leanne. He's a guy that originally signed with Miami and spent some time very close to where I grew up, but he's going to be moving south.
He is going to be moving south. It looks like he is going to be heading to the Bluegrass. He will not be in Lexington or he will not be in Louisville, but not too far in Bowling Green. Western Kentucky is going to be his new home. Definitely looking to build some depth. We saw that they took another quarterback that we had early on that's been really under the radar, but's had a lot of success in Maverick McIver. He's going to be there heading to Western Kentucky. So definitely they're looking for some strong protection. And we think that, Seymour will definitely be a strong pickup for Western Kentucky, known for developing a lot of key players. So that'll be a really good mix. Again, the guys that we're talking about, since I'm at the Alamo Dome today, I obviously haven't had a chance to get their film. So when I have another breakdown here, we'll have a better breakdown. But again, the interior linemen, like we said, it all through the transfer portal are becoming top commodities because again, with the quarterback situations being such in a revolving door across the board from conference to conference, like I said, you can't get it done without the big guys in front. So Lawrence Seymour is heading to Bowling Green to join the Hilltoppers and see what he can do down there as an interior lineman.
You have no excuses, Leanne. We expect you to perform miracles. You can do anything. It seems like you're everywhere at the same time. So I don't put anything past you. So Malik Benson is a wide receiver who's certainly making the stops along some of the major programs in college football. And this is a guy that has underachieved both at Alabama, and Florida State was expecting him to break into a wide receiver room that was depleted by the NFL draft and make his mark. And he really didn't do that. So here we go with Malik Benson, and he's going to make a third stop.
Well, the Oregon Ducks definitely have been making a move when it comes into their offensive side of the board. Obviously, we've talked a lot about their QB situation. It looks like it's intact, with the signing, of a former, quarterback. And then obviously they've had a little bit of situation there with quarterbacks coming and going. But Malik Benson definitely is going to be a huge asset to that depth down in Eugene.
Yeah, Malik Benson checking in again at Florida State. It's not like he wasn't producing at all, but of course they had all sorts of offensive line and quarterback issues with Jordan Travis moving on to the NFL and DJ Uiagalelei not being the answer. Still caught 25 passes for the Seminoles, 311 yards and a touchdown after 13 reception first season there. With Alabama in 2023 as they went to the Rose Bowl in the college football playoffs. But Malik Benson will try to break that Oregon starting lineup. And we just learned just a few days ago, Oregon's speedy Tez Johnson has declared for the NFL draft. So one more spot open on the wide receiver in the wide receiver room for Oregon. Okay, Leanne, time for the rumblings. Here we go. Blue chip Thaddeus Dixon. A long list of some pretty heavy options that he's looking at right now.
Of course, he's going to head with former cornerback Takario Davis, also one of the most coveted cornerbacks, looking to actually. It seems that Takario Davis will be heading to Washington. So the question was, will Thaddeus Dixon remain there, or will he be on the hunt? And right now, it looks like he's on the move. Some of the big players that we're hearing are Michigan, North Carolina, Mizzou, and Ole Miss is definitely trying to get in the mix, looking to add to that to get one of the highly most coveted cornerbacks outside of Takario Davis, who seems like he might be switching the roles heading to Washington. And Thaddeus Dixon is on his way out. We don't have any confirmed visits, but we are hearing that Bill Belichick in North Carolina are in a solid position and in the works in trying to secure a visit with Dixon. And I'm assuming Pete Golding is not too far behind in trying that. But right now, what we're hearing is that North Carolina is the first one to try to secure a visit with one of the most coveted cornerbacks. Again, it looks like Takario Davis might very well be trading places with Thaddeus Dixon out at Washington. Again, it would be something. Obviously, rejoining, Takario Davis. We talked about Washington looking to be the destination. Obviously, former Arizona head coach Jeff Fish is out there now. So, of course, like I always say, relationships matter. But the question is, with two guys looking like Takario Davis and Thaddeus Dixon, looking for substantial playing time and obviously playing the starter role, it wouldn't make sense, as much as I'm sure that both those teams Washington would love to keep both those guys at, two elite corners on the same defensive side of the ball. We've definitely seen the way the portal works. These guys, especially the high profile guys, are definitely looking at a place where they can make an instant impact in starters. So it looks like Bill Belichick is making the push. But again, Michigan, obviously, Mizzou and Ole Miss are not too far behind. But right now, UNC looks like they're in good shape to get a visit here from Thaddeus here soon.
Matt Zemek of Trojans Wire, had a discussion last night, posted a video to the USC channel that you may want to check out, because I don't want to call it alarming. I don't want to blow it out of proportion, but certainly USC losing many more players, and not just more quantity of players. 21 losses through the transfer portal, only 7 gains thus far for Lincoln Riley, but it's the quality of player that they've lost. Of course, their 2 starting quarterbacks, Jaden Mayava, possibly going to Miami. Miller Moss has already departed for Louisville. They lose Deuce Robinson, one of the best tight ends in college football, to Florida State. Other losses like Kyron Hudson, one of the best wide receivers in the pack. Well, what was the Pac-12, playing in the Big Ten this year, to Penn State. And a lot of losses for USC right now. And of course, the Branch brothers moving on to Georgia, the latest. And then up front along the offensive line, maybe another loss for USC.
It could very well be. Obviously, it doesn't, as sunny as SoCal seems to be in the destination, definitely for that warmer weather. USC and Lincoln Riley definitely having a tough time, like you said, across the board, keeping some of their key players, some guys definitely that were looking to be a pivotal standpoints in both sides of the ball in 2025. And it looks like Colorado native Emmanuel Pregnant, an offensive lineman is looking to be on the move. We're hearing that Ole Miss is really possibly trying to make a push and secure a visit with him. Obviously, this is something that we've talked about all season. I've definitely, expressed it, that a big problem in our missed opportunities as far as the offensive side of the ball for the Rebels and Lane Kiffin and his staff has been trying to get that offensive line to be able to operate in order to have a lot less mistakes and a lot less missed opportunities. It definitely would have been a different storyline, I do believe, had we had a stronger, more physical offensive line. So Ole Miss looking to address the needs, and they could definitely find it in one of USC's productive offensive linemen, in Emmanuel Pregnant. Now, like I did mention, he is a Colorado native, so we are hearing that roots and relationships always matter. So the Buffs very well could also be a late person to the party. But again, the Colorado could be one, and also a close one to watch behind Ole Miss and trying to secure a top offensive lineman out of SoCal.
We see coming down just in the last hour on the 247 Sports feed. This is a former 5-star quarterback, Ty Thompson, who originally signed at Oregon, was at Tulane, had entered the transfer portal. But of course, we have the Tulane quarterback departure in Amari Mensah moving on to Duke. And now Ty Thompson has reconsidered his options, and maybe his path to a starting job in a quarterback battle at Tulane this fall. So he is staying put after entering the transfer portal. All right, Leanne, we also have the All-America East team updates. Anything that you've got there for us?
Well, we kind of reversed that and started that. We went through those clips and stuff. Like I said, Antoine Hill out of Houston County, another Georgia product that I've definitely watched. I talked a little bit about in the show. He's obviously a 2025 commit to Memphis. Hasn't got a lot of buzz generated. I know a lot of buzz that's talking about the 2026 quarterbacks. You obviously Houston commit and Keyshawn Henderson, who's actually prepping for the West, is another QB that we'll hopefully get to look at for tomorrow. But again, Antoine Hill hasn't been the buzz today, but like I said, his frame is very commanding. He's got a very strong arm, very accurate. So I'm excited to see. I think, like I said, Memphis is getting a real gem in him. He's been under the radar, but throughout his high school career, and I believe that he's going to do great things in Memphis. Like I said, when you see him, he's just very physical. We haven't seen a lot of running from him, obviously, in practice today, but again, his arm has been really accurate. And I mean, I always, aside from one thing that I always look at when I'm scouting, I always, especially with quarterbacks, I like to hear the noises when they're throwing the ball. I know that may sound weird, but it really shows the strength and the physicality of when they throw it. I mean, I've seen him throw some really nice balls today. Not too far not too many deep balls, but again, he puts a lot of physical on his spin, and his release is very good, like I said. So I'm really excited to see what Antoine Hill, Memphis commit, is going to do. I knew when Memphis got him, he was originally committed to Colorado, and then Colorado was able to flip him. So again, he's going to be one that I'm excited to watch for 2025. And then some of the other guys I mentioned, Aaron Gregory, Devin Carter, I haven't got some film on him. He's also from Douglasville, out in Georgia. He's another wide receiver that joins Aaron Gregory as well. Those are two elite guys that I've been really watching for a long time. Excited to see them at the Navy All-American Bowl tomorrow. I know that a lot of our Michigan fans are excited to see. There's a lot of top prospects, a lot of top signees that were actually they are practicing at Trinity as we speak. So I will be catching up with the West team tomorrow, and I definitely will be looking at. I know Andrew Babaloa is an elite company, and we definitely will be looking and running down some of the other Michigan signees and future commits for 2025 and 2026 tomorrow. So, like I said, a lot of exciting things today. Not a lot of rumblings and things, because it is the first day of practice, so everyone's kind of getting adjusted. Of course, this is an All-American game, so this is the first time a lot of these guys are playing together, and it's kind of like a reunion, because of course some of these guys see themselves on the national. They've competed against each other, across each other, obviously in high school, but also on the 7-on-7 circuit, and a lot of them train with some of the similar trainers. So again, we'll definitely have more updates. We'll get those Michigan signees updated and broken down tomorrow. But again, a lot of talent, and really excited to see where it goes this week.
Leanne, I know that, like you just said about the quarterback evaluations, you hear this from coaches and scouts and recruiting types like yourself, that sometimes coming out of the hand and it just whistling through the air just sounds different. Just the ripple through the air is just first rate when a quarterback has superior velocity. Definitely.
Well, like I said, make sure you guys subscribe the channel. If there's any particular rundowns of certain signees and commits, let us know. That way we can make sure to break them down. We'll be here all week, live from the Alamo Dome, and also from Trinity, covering the Navy All-American Bowl. And of course, we're going to be here, try to be here every day. It seems like every time we try to take a break, Mark, there's always somebody on the move. So we'll be bringing the latest from the transfer portal, obviously, and what teams are winning and losing as the transfer portal kind of winds down.
All right, folks, we appreciate you being here at the Voice of College Football. Stay tuned for a lot of playoff previews that we've got planned throughout the day. Our next live show is on the Iowa channel, Hawkeyes Live at 5:30 Eastern. Chris Drew from Menace to Sports is joining me at 7 Eastern tonight to set up the playoffs. And again, we'll be back here hopefully with Leanne on Wednesday. But at the same time, that makes it imperative that you go over and you follow Leanne on Twitter, on X, because she is posting videos. She is giving you updates constantly from the Navy All-American practices there at the Alamo Dome. All right, so we will catch everyone soon, and keep it locked in here right at the Voice of College Football.